Coming up on Point News, it's not spring yet, but we've seen spring showers that impact the rain and head to the Pittsburgh area.
And too close to call, the special election in the Pennsylvania's 18th Congressional District is without a winner, 2 days after the contest. That, along with more on Point Park sports, Point News starts now.
Live from the Point Park University Broadcast Center in downtown Pittsburgh, this is Point News.
Good afternoon, I'm Nicole Paxinos.
And I'm Julie Gernick. The replacement for Tim Murphy's seat in the 18th Congressional District of Pennsylvania still hasn't been filled. No official word yet, although vote totals suggest that Democrat Connor Lamb defeated Republican Rick Saccone by about 600 votes. This comes days after President Trump visited a rally in Pittsburgh International Airport in a nearby Moon Township to show his support for Saccone.
We've seen a lot lately flooding in the Pittsburgh area. Point News reporter Kimberly Keggy has more now on heavy rain and flooding that has hit our area.
The National Weather Service reports the Pittsburgh region has had 11 inches and a quarter of rainfall so far in 2018. Now that totals above 6 inches of what it was last year.
We're lucky given the amount of rain, like you said, but really hasn't affected us that much. I mean, there were things that we were able to handle quickly.
Lucky indeed. Spring showers bring May flowers, but rain showers also bring flooding.
Affected the physical plant this year only 3 times, once in Lawrence Hall, and that was due to a pipe burst. And we had a water main break that was the responsibility of the Patterson building that flooded Thayer Hall, and we had rising waters of the river that affected West Penn.
Hill says the low number of flood incidents is due to the university and physical plant's protocol for flooding.
The reason I think that any type of catastrophic flooding, the university and the physical plant has measures in place such as water detectors on the ground. We have sensors where you have systems hooked up to computers that would get any type of alarms anytime we'd have irregular flows in pipes. We have any water on the ground, we get the alarm first, so either the physical plant or public safety, we're attacking it before it becomes an issue.
Allegheny County has reported 270 flash floods since 1986 to the National Weather Service. That's amongst the highest totals in western Pennsylvania. When spring springs a leak, Point Park's Public Safety Department has tips for you on how to protect yourself from flooding.
If we're expecting a flood or a student suspects there may be a flood, the first step they should do is get to an area of safety.
Getting to an area of safety is important because even standing water poses a danger to pedestrians.
Protect themselves from flooding. Again, be aware of what's going on around you. If you see standing water, don't enter standing water on foot. Again, 6 inches of water is enough to wash a person away. 12 inches of water is enough to wash a vehicle away.
Commuters driving should be aware that flash floods spike during morning and afternoon rush hours.
You know, if you can be aware of what's going on at the time, the rain season, the snow and ice melt season, take a different route. If you would become trapped, in your vehicle, get to high ground. There may be a time where you have to abandon your vehicle, exit the window, get on top of the roof, call, yell for help at somebody higher ground, try to have your cell phone with you.
Point Park University students and community members can be alerted about flooding on campus through the Point Alert system. You can sign up for Point Alert on the university's website. Reporting from downtown, I'm Kimberly Keggy for Point News.
With St. Patrick's Day right around the corner, Pittsburgh is prepared to celebrate. The annual St. Patrick's Day Parade is set to kick off at 10 a.m. on Saturday. This parade is the second largest in the country. Almost 25 years ago to the day, the blizzard of 1993 hit Pittsburgh. That didn't stop the parade, though. Some 2 feet of snow fell. The celebration still went on. You can expect many road closures during that time. With the weekend hopefully being in favor of our St. Patty's Day Parade, let's see what our weather reporter Wyatt Cree has to offer.
Thanks, Julie. Well, we're in luck. There's no snow, no flooding this weekend. Instead, looks like it's going to be pretty clear for the St. Patrick's Day celebrations. On Friday, there's a high of 37 with a low of 23. On Saturday, a high of 49, almost reaching the 50s with a low of 22. And on Sunday, again, we'll have a high of 53 with a low of 28. So if you're heading out for the parade, maybe just grab a light jacket, a light green jacket, to fit in with the festivities. But other than that, it should be a pretty clear weekend, not too much precipitation to worry about. But let's see what else is happening back at the desk with Nicole and Julie.
Do you want to know how you are able to stay healthy on campus? Do you have the right foods, whether you are on a meal plan or not? Point News reporter Sarah Maculin has this story.
Trying to lose weight in the new year? Well, it may be harder than you think. According to the U.S. News, 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by the second week of February. And one of the most common choices is weight loss.
People of all ages may be looking to shed a few extra pounds this year, but one group that seems to need it the most is college students. According to the National College Health Association, 33.7% of college students are overweight or obese.
It's something I've always struggled with, but I've definitely gained weight since I started college, and that's something that's kind of bothered me a little bit for a while.
The assessment also reports that 51.4% of college students say they are trying to lose weight, but for many, it can turn into a constant struggle with no way out.
It affects my self-esteem mostly, because I find that when I'm thinking about, oh, I can't lose weight, or it's so hard to lose weight, I get frustrated and I feel kind of bad about myself.
I spoke with Kim Hoban, the Director of Wellness for Culinart and a registered dietitian. Hoban says a lot of the weight gain by college students comes in reaction to a change in environment, resulting in students to turn to food for comfort and developing unhealthy eating patterns.
But the nutritional support needed by students to lose the weight may not be readily available. The NCHA's yearly assessment also showed that only 40% of universities offer weight loss programming. However, Point Park is one university trying to make a difference with their food provider Culinart, who launched its new Eat Well program this semester.
Our nutrition program is meant to put things out there for you so that it makes it easy for you to see what's there and not have to think extremely hard about it, but then to have somebody to come and ask questions to, which is really one of our biggest roles here, is to be available for students.
Culinart's Eat Well program features a variety of recipes based on whole foods prepared with healthy cooking methods. And while students are still going to find their favorite pizza and chicken fingers at the dining hall, they're also going to find some comfort foods.
When you realize it's time to maybe move past that or pick something different that day, you can go to our comfort station upstairs. You're always going to find a protein, a starch, a vegetable, and it's going to be a balanced meal for you.
Researchers at Auburn University found that 70% of college students gain weight by graduation. However, with new nutritional programs, colleges can start steering their students towards a healthier lifestyle. Reporting from Point Park's residential dining facility, I'm Sarah Maculin for Point News.
It's a brunch for hope. As you know, Lending Hearts of Pittsburgh provides emotional and social support to children and young adults with cancer, as well as their families. Well, now they're hosting a Sunday brunch at Velazzi's downtown on April 22nd to further raise money for Children's Hospital. If you'd like to be a part of this cause, you can visit their website for more details. Fighting for women's rights.
A women's march right here in Pittsburgh. The message this group was trying to send. All that and more when Point News returns after this.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paper boy, evening TV. You miss your old familiar friends, but waiting just around the bend. Everywhere you look, there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look, there's a look of somebody who needs you. When you're lost out there and you're all alone, life is waiting to carry you home. Everywhere you look, everywhere
Spending just 7 minutes climbing stairs each day cuts your risk of a heart attack in half over 10 years. Sure, elevators are convenient, but you burn twice the number of calories just going upstairs than you do while jogging. Think about how long you spend waiting for elevators. The average person spends the equivalent of 2 years waiting for elevators over the course of their lifetime. Don't let that be you. Save time and increase energy. Next time, take the stairs.
Let's go.
Welcome back.
With this month being the celebration of women, I caught up with the Women's March here in Pittsburgh. Take a look.
Today is a day where women all across the U.S. are lifting up the work that they've done this year and take the next step, which they are calling Power the Polls. We are here to kick off the 2018 Women's March.
Women and men across Pittsburgh joined together today to show their support for women's power. Now, this year was not only about women's rights. They started an initiative called Power the Polls.
Power the Polls is, for instance, if you want to change things, you got to get off your rear end heck and vote.
The Power the Polls rally aims to launch a national voter registration and mobilization tour. The goal is to register more women to vote and to elect more women and progressive candidates to the public office.
Now, although the Women's March is happening here in Pittsburgh, there are multiple other marches happening today as well across the U.S.
I went to the Women's March in Washington last year, which was unbelievable.
As you can see, Pittsburgh is only one of hundreds of other women's marches that have happened this year.
I work with them to make sure that we are identifying structural barriers for women's equity, and we take an intersectional feminist approach, so we understand that women's needs will vary depending on race and location, income, education, etc. So we're trying to take a very systematic, data-based approach to saying where are the actual obstacles and how can we creatively and sustainably overcome them.
According to the Center for American Women and Politics, this year could potentially be the year where women outrun the men.
And as you can see behind me, everyone here is standing up for women's rights, and they are not stopping anytime soon. Reporting from Market Square here in downtown Pittsburgh, I'm Nicole Paxinos for Point News.
Police officials met with East End residents living in Homewood area this Thursday to discuss policing and race. The night was centered on a shooting that happened this past February where Officer Gino Maciosi shot and killed Mark Daniels in what police say was an exchange of gunfire. State Representative Ed Gainey and President of the Community Empowerment Association called on police to be transparent about their procedures and make a plan to improve community relations.
Concussions are a major issue, creating serious long-term medical concerns in the sports community. Point News reporter Sarah Maculin now with an in-depth look at the issue.
Concussions. It's the word you are hearing more than ever nowadays when it comes to sports. And research shows sports-related concussions are even more prevalent in today's youth than ever before. The National Safety Council reports every 3 minutes a child in the United States is treated for a sports-related concussion. And according to the Center for Disease Control, an estimated 1.6 to 3.8 million sports and recreation-related concussions occur in the United States each year.
The brain is suspended within the skull, so it kind of hits the skull, and there's no partial damage to the brain, right? So it just affects various items.
And concussions are not just happening on the football field anymore, but in a variety of collegiate sports. Here at Point Park University, concussions occur most commonly in men's and women's basketball and soccer, the Copa dance program, and cheerleading. Point Park sophomore cheerleader Emily Kirsch knows this all too well, suffering 2 concussions already this school year.
I went to the hospital for it, and then I had to see concussion specialist for it. I had like non-stop headaches all the time. Still the light and sound, I got like a little nauseous from it. It was just like affected it really bad.
According to UPMC Sports Medicine, most physical concussion symptoms can disappear within 21 days of injury. However, the mental effects associated with concussions can linger well beyond this time frame. The University of Pittsburgh Medical Center found that up to 20% of collegiate athletes can display depressive symptoms following a sports-related concussion. Oftentimes, college-age students lack the coping skills to deal with an injury, resulting in lingering post-concussion symptoms, such as increased depression, mood changes, and anxiety.
It definitely upsetted me a lot. Even with concussion in general, like it just changes your whole mood. And because I was out, I missed 4 competitions with the cheer team. So like I was upset about that, and like I wasn't even allowed to travel. So like I was just home by myself, like I wasn't able to do anything. So it was hard.
Even though concussion research continues to advance, UPMC Sports Medicine reports 5 of 10 concussions are still going unreported or undetected. Because of this and the complex nature of concussions, it's important that college athletes understand the seriousness of head injuries.
Some are a little more emotional or worried, anxious than others. I mean, I think in general, you know, they're great kids. Like I love my job. I love working with athletes, and I try to convey to them this is important. You have to do X, Y, Z. You know, this is your brain.
And this month, physicians across the nation will be reinforcing the importance of addressing trauma to the brain. March is recognized as Brain Injury Awareness Month in the United States, with Brain Injury Awareness Day taking place on March 20th. Reporting live from the Point Park University Trainer's Office, I'm Sarah Maculin for Point News.
The Point Park University softball team is headed to the Lindsey Wilson Campsville tournament in Kentucky this weekend. According to PointParkSports.com, the Pioneers head in with a 3-5 overall record after their spring training in Florida 2 weeks ago. Kim Corcoran, the Pioneers' leading batter, has a .400 average with 2 runs batted in heading into the tournament. Point Park's rugby team will be taking the field on Friday with their spring home opener. They will take on Grove City College Rugby at the George Cupples Stadium at 7 p.m. The game is highly anticipated after the Bisons lost in the fall to the Wolverines 17-38. A looping shuttle will be provided in the shuttle lot for anyone interested in attending the game.
Have you heard about Chief Wahoo? The Cleveland Indians mascot has stirred up quite the controversy. Point News reporter Jordan Slabinski takes a look.
I'm Jordan Slobodinsky at the Council of Three Rivers American Indians Center, where we're here to talk to some of their members about the Cleveland Indians taking away the Chief Wahoo logo in 2019.
The council is located just north of Pittsburgh, and members of the council work to maintain Native American culture in the Pittsburgh area. The council was also delighted to hear of the Cleveland Indians finally doing away with their incredibly racist Chief Wahoo logo in 2019. I talked to Miguel Segay, a board member of the council and a Tayan Indian. Miguel says he is very proud of his heritage and is glad to see the logo removed.
It's very offensive, it's very racist, and I was born in Cuba. So my tribe is from the Caribbean, and certainly we've suffered just as much discrimination, near extinction in the Caribbean as Native Americans here in this country.
Miguel says that although the logo controversy was so close to the council, it did not affect a lot of their work, but it was on their radar as something to teach their children and members about.
The Indian Center, the Council of Three Rivers American Indian Center, has not really been affected that much by the issue as an organization, as an agency, by the issue of the Chief Wahoo problem, because it has tended to focus on very local problems, very local issues here in the Pittsburgh area.
Though this is a victory, Miguel mentioned that other teams, like the Atlanta Braves and the Washington Redskins, are the next step in getting rid of the racist logos and traditions in sports.
With the logo finally being retired in the 2019 season, Miguel and other Native Americans of the Pittsburgh area can be happy that it's gone. For Point News 4, this is Jordan Slobodinsky.
And that does it for this week's Point News. Be sure to join us next Thursday live at 2 p.m.
Have a great week, everybody.